And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Dallas Cowboys and the Minnesota Vikings. The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. That's fielded in the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Four down. Check. Crunch.
Here's the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. Some fancy footwork, but not much room to operate. Just past the 25 and no further.
That's how we do, baby. Always rolling. What's tight? Tight end's right. What's tight? Tight end.
Gun! To throw on second down is Romo. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. 20, 10, touchdown, Cowboys. A big play there. His fourth touchdown on the year. And the Cowboys have taken the early lead. Well, that's how they envisioned it. Get the football to start the game and score it.
And I don't know if that was scripted. Was it an audible? Or was it just a play call that they had in their pocket? No matter what, they had the right call on against the right defense, and they end up in the end zone.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here on first down. Escaping the pressure right. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away but could not. Jamarcus Lawrence in there to get him for sack number 9 now on the year. So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. Going to try a deep ball for Norwood. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up third.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Ohio! Let's go. Hey, we got Mike, number 50.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Flush to his right. Now he's going to throw deep right side. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. So he was past the line of scrimmage when he threw it.
And as they say, that's a no-no. Got to be able to understand where you are on the field and not cross the line before throwing the ball downfield.
And Quigley now on to punt as he sends this one away. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs. Yeah. So they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them.
Watch you now, Barney! Barney! Man left, man left.
They fake the give to Elliott. Now Romo. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Mike Hughes. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. He has just been a load for opposing offenses to account for. Now 8 interceptions on the year.
I love that number because I always think of center field. You know, when I hear 8, because that's the position you write in the scorecard in baseball. And what do good center fielders do? Take away all the alleys, right? They range deep and make a whole lot of great catches.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
All day! All day!
Back to throw here. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. Touchdown, Vikings! Stephon Diggs, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are an extra point away from tying this thing up. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. A tale of two extremes already in this game. A touchdown pass on their opening drive followed by an interception last time out.
Now, it sounds like things balance out, right? What's that mythological thing that we do? If you have a candy bar, have a diet soda with it, it balances it out. And we know that's not really true, right? Because the interception, that sting lingers a little bit longer. Got to come out now and put together some nice plays.
Brought down by Nate Gary.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. On 2nd down, there's the option going left. He'll be tackled shy of the 35. Shifty footwork gets him a little extra on the play. It's going to be a gain of 6 on the keeper, but it leads to a 3rd down.
Get it! Good job, D. Good job. Woo, that's what I'm talking about, baby. Woo, defense, let's go. Let's go.
So 3rd and 2, and I count 6 defensive backs out there.
Hey, watch the slant.
They'll try and pick it up by running the option to the right. Give him 4 yards as he does it himself, and it's a 1st down.
Well, if you're going to run the read option, typically, you've got to keep an eye on the defensive end.
And what does that mean? What are you looking for with a defensive end?
Well, you want to play off of what he does. If he collapses inside towards the running back, then you pull it and take it yourself outside in. If he stays outside, you go ahead and leave it with the running back. In this case, pulled it and got good yardage himself.
That is right.
Now a 1st down throw. Romo, The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. And their inaugural sack of the game coming from an unlikely source.
You mean it wasn't a linebacker? It wasn't a defensive end?
It was somebody like you.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's a surprise for the offense. That's not what they normally get when they think about pressure.
And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
The play fake for Elliott. Now Romo. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on 1st down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Romo now to throw. Going for the deep ball. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And the return out shy of midfield to the 46-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
They go play action here on 1st down. Looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Jalen Smith. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
They'll start the drive with Elliott. Finding some room at midfield. And finally, down at the 36-yard line. 25 yards to pick up there, and also a 1st down.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Romo. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he'll go down at the 28. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion. Boy, the evolution of the game and how these guys on plays like that can get out of the pocket, keep plays alive, it just makes things so much harder for defenses.
It really does, and we're talking about an era in the game where the quarterbacks are the most athletically gifted that we've seen in a bunch. I mean, when you talk about collectively, it's unbelievable. So their ability to move is practiced now. It's not necessarily, oh, he just took off and you guys figure it out. When he takes off, everyone knows where to go now. They know how to run routes, change things, make themselves presentable for the quarterback. It's a lot of time that they put in on it. It's not just your static 1, 2, 3. This is where the ball goes anymore.
Gun, gun! Gun, gun! Gun, gun! Gun, gun! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
3rd and 2, it's Romo. Drops it underneath to Elliott. And he's going to get the 1st down here as he's taken down at the 22. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. Sitting alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin as it is Cowboys. That is incomplete. No gain there as he kept it himself at 2nd down.
But one of the things you like about a zone read play that has an option component to it is that it gives you plenty of different ways to go. On this one, though, I'm not sure they chose the right one. Maybe they should have pitched it out on this one because that play was absolutely swallowed up.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. 2nd and 10. Romo once more. And a dump off to White. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that'll lead here to a 3rd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Buying time to his left. He may try and run for this. 5 yards that time out of the scramble, but now they're looking at a 4th down situation.
I liked his effort there. He got it done on his own. But let's face it, he puts defenses in a really stressful spot when he takes off and runs because a lot of guys have coverage responsibilities.
Good job of routing, though, because I thought when he first took off, he might pick up the first down. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point's not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he will go down. A Cowboys sack. DeMarcus Lawrence in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here.
Let's go. White 90. White 90. Hut.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. He's going to air one out. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Anthony Brown. Wait a second, they did not accept that after the incompletion. What? Your look is just as puzzled as mine.
I got nothing for you here. You have to take that penalty, don't you?
It's free yards. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. He'll get 8 on the keeper there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
Now, that's a run that warms a play caller's heart because you're actually set up to do whatever you want on offense. You can come right back and run essentially the same play because you have momentum, or you can fake that running play and throw something deep over the top, or you now feel like you have an extra down to play with because if you go ahead and just throw it and you don't get it, you come back and try and pick it up on 3rd down.
And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. It's the first time that they've looked his way tonight, and he comes up with a first down on the play. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
On 2nd down, here's Romo. To the left side here for Eifert. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. His first catch there, good for 10 yards and a first down. This quarterback now 6 of 10 in this first half. He's got his guys a first down here. Here's Romo. Wide open receiver complete. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Leopard! Leopard!
Now Tony Romo on first down. A dump off to Elliott. Space to run past the 20 and down to the 16-yard line. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Cowboys will extend their lead.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you've got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And now out comes Minnesota. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something
Heads up.
to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. More from Minneapolis after this. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. And down inside the 40 to about the 38. He'll get 8 on the keeper there. It'll be 2nd and a couple. The Vikings in the hurry up. They're hustling up to the line. They're going to look to throw. Norwood's got it complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough.
And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A great effort there, hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Vikings are able to make this a close game again. And it's up and good. Carlson now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. A spin. Oh, able to avoid him. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. And now here come the Cowboys. And Charles, the way touchdowns have come so fast and furious for both sides in this thing, it's starting to feel a little bit more like maybe a tennis match than a football game.
Yeah, I like your description there. Maybe we're sitting in a nice royal box watching this type of a game. But let's face it, right now, the way it's going back and forth, it's going to come down to who can get a stop.
Now it's Romo. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Devondre Campbell, the linebacker, picks it. And they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line. Now a play fake here on first down. He's got it complete to Diggs, right side. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. And that one results in 35 yards. So now following the big play, they've got a 1st and goal all the way down at the 10.
4 down, 4 down. Shift.
They'll run with Cook. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
They'll give it to him up the middle, and that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. And now a timeout called by the Cowboys defense, as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. They've been stuffed twice here for losses. Now it's 3rd and goal.
We got 4. We got 4. Hot! Hot!
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however, and let's see what that's about. Now, if you're going to get rid of it, you better get outside the pocket.
Yeah, you have to get outside of that tackle-to-tackle box, right? Get out there, and then you can do it legally, but he wasn't able to do so, and they end up losing the down as well.
Carlson able to put this one through, and that will tie things up as we head toward halftime. Maybe a nice psychological boost there just to get back to even with that field goal as we head towards half.
Coaching 101 always says at halftime, play it like it's 0-0 on the scoreboard. Well, in this case, it's level, right? Same score each side. Just start over. Now you've got the second half to play.
And out now come the Cowboys. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
Oh, Zeke with a quick feed. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Gun! 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 Hot! Hot!
The final shot before the break. Romo rolling to his right. Airing it out for Hearns. And that is caught one-handed. Oh, my, he pulled it in. So thanks to the late field goal, we are all tied up heading to intermission as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, and ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. First half showed us some pretty good offense. Tie game, we'll see what the second half brings.
And it'll be interesting because I think both sides feel pretty good about what their offenses are doing. Got to wonder what adjustments are being made defensively to try and get a spark and maybe slow down the other side.
But here, do you change up anything on this opening drive?
Not offensively, you don't. You've got everything going your way. You've probably prepared for maybe some change-ups you might expect, but overall, you like what your game plan's showing you.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
Tight ends on the Ringo. Tight ends on the Ringo. Flex round. Flex round.
Out of the gun. They'll look to throw. Flushed out right. Now he'll let it go deep right side. No, he almost had it. Already with 1 interception, just missing his second there. So, Charles, tie game here. What are your keys as we continue to play this second half?
I know people think it's always trite when you say the same things over and over, but they're tried and true in the game of football. Who's going to block better? Who's going to tackle better? In this case, to me, it's turnovers. You've got it.
And the Cowboys' pressure gets there this time for the sack. Jalen Smith able to drop it for a loss of 12, and it'll be 4th down. On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. And they'll be set up with great field position as this is going to be touchdown right at the 40-yard line. The Cowboys offense now, they head out for their first possession of the second half. Tie game, but they'll get excellent starting field position here to begin the second half.
And it's a starting field position that makes an offensive coordinator maybe bolder than normal. Maybe you want to take the big shot right now. Go for a big play and get their attention early, or even just run your offense because you feel good about where you are and a chance to move the ball downfield.
Yeah, maybe they go for the big play. Time to find out.
Detroit! Detroit! Gun, gun! Gun, gun! Gun, gun! Gun, gun!
Play action. It's Romo. And for the fourth time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the second week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. They run it again with Cook. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. That one whistled against a big right tackle.
You'd think being able to fire out and block, it'd be a lot easier to not commit a holding penalty, but it's tough to keep those guys right in front, isn't it?
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. Going deep for Diggs. And he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position, couldn't hold on, 3rd down.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest, you can draft the most athletic guys, but if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete.
We got trips over here. Trips over Ohio! Ohio!
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He hits Baldwin right side. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
Well, that's certainly playing down and distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Fielded just inside the 30. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. We have not seen much on offense from either side. These last few drives, it has been a struggle, hasn't it?
Totally, and you're thinking to yourself right now, if you're on offense trying to get things figured out, okay, we self-scout every week in our game plan. How many things do we do at certain times? What are our tendencies? Time to go to some of those tendency breakers and try and create some offense.
They always have those in their back pocket, don't they?
You have to, and if you don't keep abreast of what you're doing, you lock into a rhythm and make it easy for the opposition.
Looking for tendency breakers right now.
4 down.
This is Hunter. And no room to maneuver there. Give him a yard up to the 47.
Vision is so important for the man in the middle because his ability to look through all the clutter that's happening in front of him, diagnose a play, and then go make it and finish it, that's when the great ones know that they have the goods.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've hit 2 for 4 thus far. They're looking at 3rd and a few inches.
4 down.
They'll try and run for it with Elliott. And he's got the 1st down yardage before being taken down at midfield. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. On 1st down, they're going option left. And he'll be taken down right around the 41-yard line. 9 yards on the 1st down. Keeper, and it's 2nd and 1.
Gun, gun!
After another impressive run, the question has to be asked, how do you slow these guys down running the football? I think they're going to try and get more people to the point of attack, try and get more people to the line of scrimmage, almost use a variety of run blitzes in order to try and get it done.
3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10.
Leopard! Leopard! Gun! 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 Gun!
On 1st down, Romo dancing to his left. And shedding through the tackle. And he gets it down to the 32. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll try the air now with Romo. This will be caught inside the 10. That one goes for 24 yards.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route.
Leopard!
Out of the gun, Romo. And that is caught. Touchdown, Cowboys. Jeff Swaim, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Cowboys have broken the tie. And when a Hail Mary is completed for a touchdown pass like that, I think any defensive coordinator just puts their face right into their hands.
I don't think there's any doubt about it, and I don't have stats in front of me. I don't have the empirical numbers that say that in recent years the Hail Mary pass has been completed more than it has been, but it feels that way, doesn't it? And I know the defenses are spending more time on it. I think the biggest mistake they make is that they play everything from behind the receiver. I think they've got to start getting people in front as well to try and knock the ball away.
Flex Brown! Flex Brown! Ohio! Ohio!
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete. The Notre Dame man, Jalen Smith, able to get a hand in and knock it away.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Eluding the pressure right. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
Ohio! 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 Ohio!
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. Now he'll let it go deep right side. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Jalen Smith. And he'll wind up losing 5 yards or so on the return, but no matter, they've got the football back. They start on the ground with Elliott. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Tackle made by Devondre Campbell.
Where Brandon Pace comes into play now because
And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. It's the Cowboys with the football. They'll be looking to tack onto their lead as we get set for the 4th. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
Gun! 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 All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Run, watch the run. No. Check. Patriot.
Here's Romo now on 2nd down. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete. So the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
The Cowboys on third down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far.
All right, now,
This is
56,
3rd and 8.
Lucky 56.
A shotgun snap for Romo. Flush to his right. He can run for it, and he will. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. He'll wind up getting 4 yards there on his own, but it also brings up 4th down.
And, partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's 3rd down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the 1st down, but he does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
And now out comes Minnesota. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off at the 36. And he'll take this across midfield and inside the 45. Another costly turnover, their second of this second half. And earlier when I asked you your keys to the second half, you said, hey, it may be trite, but I think it's turnovers. That's coming to fruition.
It certainly is, and let's face it, they named the game after it, right? So isn't it the most important thing? It's football. Exactly. They named the game for it. Take care of it.
Forced, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go.
No. Check. Patriot.
And now he'll tuck it and run. And he's got this one just across midfield to the 49. The keeper gets him 7 that time, but it'll lead to a 3rd down. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Romo. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And last time, 1-play interceptions. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give him a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback you got a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
And he finds some space past the 25 to the 27. Charles, this one not over, certainly, but you set the magic number earlier in this game. And he will go down. A Cowboys sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
The Vikings on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 9.
Single. I got a single in the slot. Flex round.
They'll look to throw here. It's caught. He finds Norwood. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. The 21 yards there as they convert on 3rd. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10.
Let's go.
1st down, here's the run with Cook. And he'll push his way up to about the 44 here. A gain of 3, 2nd down. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
They'll look to throw. Gonna try a deep ball for Norwood. It's It's caught inside the 25. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A gain of 32 that time. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10.
Check 88. Check 88. Ohio. Ohio.
Back to throw now on 1st down. Over the middle, complete. It's Cook. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. Great mix of play calling so far. 3 runs, 3 passes. All 3 passes have been completions. 1st and goal.
I think on defense now, you have to almost take a chance. Rely on your scouting. Pick a play you think they would run here and just load up for it and see what happens.
They'll try to run it in with Abdullah. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Amir Abdullah, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are an extra point away from tying this thing up. And now a critical extra point attempt here. Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And, partner, we've got a tie game here in the 4th. Set to go now with the kickoff. These two teams all even again as we continue in this wild 4th quarter. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Cowboys offense heading back out and ready to go again. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. Making the stop there, Danielle Hunter.
That's it, baby. That's it.
Time for a break. We'll come back and see how it all shakes out after this.
Detroit! Detroit!
After the run, now Romo going to throw. Throw right side, taken in by Gallup. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Romo now to throw. Throwing right, and that's complete. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
It drives some people crazy to see those short throws underneath. They've got to find a way to gash the defense downfield.
That 1st down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
Now it's Romo. Looking middle, and that's complete. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20.
Over!
Now Romo. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete. This pass rush, they've been excellent all game long, and another example of it right there in the closing moment.
Not only with the pass rush, but how well they're coached, because if you don't quite get there, get to the quarterback, get your hands up into the passing lane and knock it away as we just saw there.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Romo steps away to his left. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. And give him 10 that time as he was able to get away from the pressure and get a nice gain. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 25 ticks remaining on the clock.
Let's get it.
The Cowboys on third down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 9. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be met at about the 43. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. As the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go in the football game. So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This to take the lead here in the final minute. And this is good. He got just enough to clear the crossbar as he drops it in from long distance. And the sideline celebrates as they have taken the lead in the final minute. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. So you're right there, but obviously the clock is not your friend. How do you handle this situation?
You're thinking 2 plays. One, to get yourself in position for the second one, whether you're able to get into field goal range or you have to try another deep pass, another Hail Mary. But you're trying to get the first one to a receiver, get out of bounds, and give yourself a chance to set things up for an easier shot at it.
We'll see if they can do it. Might be easier said than done. Flushed out right. And complete right side to Cook. So there's one big play followed by the timeout as we're under 10 seconds to go. And now how do you play it offensively? We'll find out. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10.
Ohio! 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 Hot!
Back to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. Got a man, it's caught at the 6-yard line. And, the stadium clock says 0, but the one on your screen is the one that matters, and the officials say yes, it's a timeout with 1 second left to go and a field goal try forthcoming to potentially send us to overtime. And this one is right through, and that's going to tie the ball game at 27 all. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
And an excellent return there as he's up to the 35, make it the 40-yard line.
Now, that was an excellent return to start overtime. So do they get crazy and attack the end zone and try and get the 6 points to end the game? Or do you just play it to where you kick the field goal and put the game in the hands of your defense?
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10. Another carry tonight for the workhorse Elliott. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And now running right through him. A huge play there in overtime. 46 yards on the ground. So the first drive here in OT and a huge run not only gets them into enemy territory, but into the enemy's red zone.
Remember, this used to be field goal territory. Go ahead and kick it, win the game. Now you've set yourselves up for the touchdown. What a promising start for this drive.
They keep on the ground with Elliott. And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11. And I know you, with every carry, especially in overtime, you're just saying, if you're that ball carrier, hold on to the football.
Hold on to it, protect it, but not necessarily settling, because you're trying to get to the end zone. You're trying to end the game right here. And I know the defensive guys poking, clawing, raking, trying to knock the ball free and protect their end zone.
Yeah, like you alluded to, especially this part of the field. First throw in overtime for Romo. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up third down.
Oh, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
Romo now to throw it. He's going to be sacked. Back at the 23-yard line.
My, oh my, they've had some success bringing him off the edge. How about the gambling man who's the defensive coordinator? He's not just bringing pressure. He's bringing a corner to go after the quarterback.
And it's worked twice now, twice like a charm.
And not only has that worked like a charm, he's been awfully disruptive in his usual role covering receivers. Now he's rushing the passer as well.
They're able to put 3 on the board here on the opening drive of OT, and now up to their defense to try and see if they can hold this one.
I like how you framed it up because obviously this game is not over, right? They go down and kick a field goal, then we head to sudden death. But if the defense can hold, take the ball away, turn it over on downs, this game's over.
Ohio! Ohio!
They'll come out throwing here on first down. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. It's a gain of 5, and it'll be second down. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a second and 5. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. Call it a gain of 3, and that'll bring up a third down. On play action, they'll throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Flex round!
Looking to throw. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. That, the definition of a do-or-die play, but they keep this overtime session going with a first down. Back to throw. Being chased out left. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. 2 minutes to go here in overtime. We'll be back after this. Ball on the 42 as they come up second and 10.
Flex round! Flex round! 4 down!
On second down, Cook. Cook able to escape. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. He's able to rattle off 6 on the carry, and that'll get him to 3rd and 4. They're going to look to throw. Oh, it's intercepted. That'll seal it. Picked off by the linebacker, Joe Schobert. And that's how this one ends in dramatic fashion in overtime with the interception.